Well, hey y'all, I'm back to do the second part of the natural insect repellent video that I promised. Sorry it's been so long, but we've had a lot of rain, a lot of storms, a lot of cleanup, and then it just got ungodly hot. In fact, right now I'm trying to get this done before rain, because rain's coming. So what we did in the last video is we made natural insect repellent from the Beautyberry plant, and that's what I'm standing in front of. This is Beautyberry. We have this grows all over our property. It's like a nuisance. So we can put it to some good uses. The first video, which I'll say is going to be right here, we use Beautyberry and along with rubbing alcohol, and we let the alcohol extract the oils from the leaves, and we used that to make our insect repellent. What we're going to do this time is we're going, again, let me back up a bit. The little bit of an issue with the extraction process is it also pulls the chlorophyll out of the leaves. So you get a brownish green spray, and you kind of got to be careful about getting on light clothes and you know, things like that, and about staining. So if that's a problem, this is the other solution. As I said, we're going to distill it. So we're going to pick a bunch of leaves from the Beautyberry plant, and this one you want to get a bunch of them. Let's pick 150 good-sized leaves. We're going to take these and we're going to take them in the house, and we're going to use, let's just say, the poor man's steel. And you'll see, and it'll all make good sense in a little bit. But first of all, we got to get our leaves picked from the Beautyberry plant to get it all started. And like I stated in the first video, when you're removing the leaves from the plant, don't strip the whole thing. Just take every other leaf for a while on the stem, because you don't want to kill the plant. It'll come back, but give it every opportunity to grow. So I just go through and take, you know, like I said, every other one, or some of these have a lot more leaves than others. Just be sensible about it, and you'll be fine. All right, now that we got our bucket of leaves, we're ready to go and get started on the distillation process. Okay, remember when I told you about a redneck still? This is what we're talking about. I've got is a pot. I put a bowl inside the pot, and you need a lid that doesn't have any holes in it, but that's curved. I prefer using a glass lid so I can see what's going on. There's our contraption. What we're going to do is we're going to take our leaves and we're going to crunch them up a little bit, and we're going to put them all around the bowl. Now what I find easier to do is just take this out, put them all in there, and then move them out along the side of it. Then we're going to add a little bit of water. Now, I find a bigger pot is better. It's just easier to work with. Just tear them up a little bit. Don't need to chop them or mince them. It's going to do the work. Then, what we want to do is clear out a spot in the center, like so, and then put our bowl in there. Back down a little bit. There we go. Then we want to add some water, and turn on some heat. And for this much, I'm using about 1.5 cups of water. Now what we want to do is put it on the heat. You want to go ahead and bring it up so it gets pretty warm. But what you don't want to do is you don't want this to boil. You want it to get good and hot. And then what you want to do is to turn it down so it will just continue allowing this in here to steam. Make sure your lid's on. Upside down. What's going to happen is the steam is going to come up to this convex shape and it's going to collect and drip into the bowl. That's going to be our distilled beautyberry juice that we want. This is what takes the time. This is why I prefer the other method, because it actually this takes shorter time to do but requires more attention. The other takes longer but requires no attention. So the choice is yours. But we'll let this steam up, and you let it cook literally 4 hours. Not 4 hours, but it's going to be several hours it's going to need to. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. See how it's steaming? And all this stuff is flowing down to the center. That's what we want. Let's shake that off. And you can see how it's filling up. Now what I like to do after it starts to get good and hot, I like to come in and tamp all this stuff down, because it wants to move up. There's no way to get it perfect when you know, if anybody's cooked greens or anything, it's that same concept. You got to get everything down in those juices, because that's what you want. You want that part coming back up into here. I like to turn it down, so you don't want it boiling, but you need it to continually simmer to cause the steam. If you have it continually boiling, you're probably going to burn all this stuff in here. All you want it to do is steam, and then that is doing the job for you. So we let this go. We're probably going to take about 3 hours, and we'll have us enough to make a bottle of bug juice. All right, it's been about 3 hours. See how we're looking. It'll be a little hot. Shake that off in there. Like I said, you can let this cook longer if you want to make sure you got all the goodness out of here. But for expediency's sake in doing this video, I'm kind of getting it down to a minimum. But 3 hours should be enough to get you something that you need. But again, you can do it longer. Let's see how we're looking here. That is hot. Imagine that, sitting on a burner. There's how much liquid we've got in there. That's a pretty good bit. So, let me see. Do this. So I don't get in trouble from the wife. There we go. We're going to set it here. Now, what I'm going to do is pour that in a little spray bottle. And if you done it right, it shouldn't need to be strained because it's clean. It's just drips of water, but it doesn't ever hurt to strain this. And then to this, again, what I like to add is about 1/4 of what I have in here. I'd like to use alcohol. Again, to help it disperse. It hits the skin. There we go. Shake it up. We're ready to roll. Of course, it's hot. I shook it up. It's spraying everywhere. But There's our juice. Now to this, feel free to add any essential oil that you want for any fragrance that pleases you. But essentially, after this part right here, you're done and you're ready to tell the bugs and mosquitoes and gnats, flies and all to leave you alone. And there you go. That's all there is to it. Now we got our homemade insect repellent. It does a great job. Again, you don't have to use it with the alcohol added to it, but I like that. I like adding alcohol to this because when I spray myself, if I open up, it'll work. It goes ahead and disperses the active ingredient of the distilled beautyberry leaves and goes ahead and dries. If I just spray it naturally, the water, my skin stays wet for a long time. You want it to distribute it and evaporate. So there's not a right way or wrong way. I just prefer to spray it on there and in just under a minute it be dried off and protecting me. So this second part of the beautyberry insect repellent, I hope you found helpful and be able to put it to some good use. And as usual, good luck with your projects.